Hey guys, what's happening? This is Ryan, and one of my friends, Jessica, asked me, how do I overcome the fear of not being good enough? And she's a business owner. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're a business owner as well, and on some level, you question if you're worthy of the success that you're going after. Or maybe you feel that you don't really have the skills to be able to grow your business, and it brings you back to this feeling of not feeling good enough. And I totally get this because I struggled with this for years. I never felt like I was good enough to attract and receive the success that I was working so hard to achieve. And so what I learned is that there was beliefs stopping me that were unconscious, that were not healed, that were recreating the results of my life over and over and over again. So I want to teach you in this video the 3 steps that I've applied in my life to be able to flip this fear and move into a space of creating a business that I love working from home. So over the course of this video, I'm going to walk you through these 3 steps so you can start to understand what is actually stopping you and why do you feel these feelings of not being good enough, and then move into a space of confidence, power, and certainty to rock your business. I think as entrepreneurs, we all crave growth, and I get this. We feel in our hearts that our soul has a calling to do something big with our life, but we're not always sure what that thing is or how to achieve it. And even if we did, do we feel worthy of it? Like every morning, we wake up, we start our day, and we're pursuing something. Business, money, success, happiness, a meaning, a purpose, a reason to feel loved and wanted. And maybe we have our coffee, we grab our favorite breakfast, and then we prepare ourselves to venture out into the world. We read about other people's lives on social media. Maybe we head to a job that we dislike because we have to pay our bills, or pursue the dream of doing what we love every day. We run into people, we're busy, we're all busy doing something. Busy, busy, busy. And when we have a moment to stop, we allow ourselves to think. And for most people, that is scary because those deep-seated beliefs of not being good enough creep back into our mind. On some level, we feel if we can live the idea of success we're chasing, maybe the feeling of not being good enough will disappear. We won't have to feel that pain. Some of my private coaching clients struggle with the belief of not being good enough. And it's like, we want success, but question if we're really worthy of success. And I'll ask them, what is the fear of not being good enough? And typically the response is, I don't know. I just feel that on some level, I don't actually feel worthy of receiving the success or more money. The real question is, are we second guessing ourselves? And of course, I asked them, how long has this been going on for you? And the answer is always, as long as I can remember. Forever, my entire life. So what's really fascinating is the belief of not feeling good enough is an unhealed belief. So it's split from the whole. And what's interesting is we'll be attracted to people through the law of attraction, which is actually the law of mirrors, to people, circumstances, and events that will help us integrate that belief. So whatever you resist persists. So you can consciously, through willpower, through choice, through decision, try and change the belief of not feeling good enough. But I want you to remember that 2 to 4% of our perception and behavior is made on the conscious level. Now, 96 to 98% of our perception, our behaviors, and our habits are controlled through the unconscious conditioning, most which is done through our childhood years. So you can try through willpower to change this belief, but you'll notice if it's not healed, if people keep showing up in your life when you're out and about running your errands and growing your business that make you feel not good enough. Then you know there's a trigger there and there's a part of you that needs to be healed. What do I mean by the emotion of not feeling good enough needs to be healed? Well, let's imagine I was raised by parents who were not entrepreneurs or risk takers. They had a negative association with money and they really struggled in life. They were employees all their life who struggled to get ahead. And let's say growing up, I was very creative, curious, and always loved to express myself. Over the years growing up as a child, I heard my parents say things like, "There's too much month left at the end of the money. Money doesn't grow on trees. I can never catch a break." Let's say there were times when I wanted to express myself. Maybe I heard my parents say things like, "Stop being so loud, I'm trying to watch TV. Go outside. You can't always have what you want. It doesn't work like that. You'll never amount to anything. Only lucky people get ahead." In that moment, I may have felt unloved. I may have felt hurt. I may have felt confused or frustrated. To never feel that pain again, especially from my parents, the ones who I love, I decided to suppress my creativity, intuition, joy, expression, and curiosity. I could get in trouble for doing that again. This all happened to me through repetition under the age of 7. Eventually, the emotions became so suppressed that they became unconscious. Fast forward to an adult, I start a business and wonder why I have a fear of not being good enough. Because I have hidden, suppressed, and covered up the emotions when I felt free of judgment to express myself. This split from wholeness to separation wants to be healed. Because these emotions are so deeply suppressed that when people trigger me, I'm not even aware of why I have a fear of not being good enough. So the first step in healing and overcoming the fear of not being good enough is done through something called your triggers. And your triggers are what happens when somebody says something to you and makes you feel the belief of not being good enough. This can also be done through circumstances and events. Any experience in the world that triggers you emotionally to come down on yourself and not feel good enough is a wake-up call. It's a warning. It's a warning that, hey, you need to pay attention to something internally that is triggering this unhealed emotion. So your first step is to identify what are the triggers that people say to you, and these could be your significant other, your parents, family members, friends, coworkers, colleagues, business partners. What do people say to you, or what do you say to yourself that emotionally triggers you to shrink down and not feel good enough? That's step number 1. Step number 2 is becoming aware. Making the unconscious conscious by becoming aware of the triggers. So you start to pay attention to, wow, this person said this and made me feel less than. This person, I brought up my business to this person and they shot me down and I felt like a loser. You want to start to become aware of these emotions because chances are your entire life you've ran away from them and you've suppressed them. And now we want to bring them to the surface and become aware. So the second step is to become aware of these triggers. And the third step is to journal. So you want to take this week before we come up with a video next Monday to take some time to journal about what is coming up for you and detach from the judgment and detach from the negativity that you may place around this and become aware through your journaling of, wow, this person said this to me and it made me feel less than them. This person said that to me and I felt like a loser. And detach from the emotions of your story. So you want to what you want to do is focus on making the unconscious conscious by journaling out every single time that you felt less than. So now you know what to do this week. This week is all about awareness and about journaling. So I want you to take this week to take some time to recognize when those triggers come up. Journal them and make the unconscious conscious. If you have questions, I want you to comment down below in the comment section and I will personally write back to you. And we will see you next week as I'm going to be coming out with another video. And if you have questions, make sure to email me, ryan@ryanyokome.com, and I might be answering your personal question. We'll see you next week.